Hello and welcome to Two Tiers Deep, the Women's Cricket Weekly Show, with me, Rosa Simpkin.
And me, Chloe Hill.
I'm the journalist, working in all the tiers of women's cricket.
And I'm the cricketer, currently playing in the game.
We saw a gap in the market, mainly from a Tier 2 coverage perspective. So we thought, why not start a podcast? We have some very exciting interviews for you. We will be speaking to Surrey captain Bryony Smith and the star of the day, Finty Trussler of Middlesex. To start with, we probably should explain something to you, which otherwise none of this will make any sense. Last year, the ECB announced Project Darwin, a project to hand the game back to the 18 counties, split into 3 tiers. Tier 1 is the professional level, consisting of the Blaze, Durham, Essex, Lancashire, Hampshire, Somerset, Surrey and Warwickshire. I could go into the depths about why the Blaze aren't knots, but we'll leave that for another time.
And Tier 2 counties are made up of Derbyshire, Glamorgan, Gloucestershire, Kent, Leicestershire, Middlesex, Northamptonshire, Sussex, Worcestershire and Yorkshire.
And then Tier 3 are the national counties.
Before we get started on today's episode, I'd like to give a shout out to our leading partner, Her Game 2. Her Game 2 Cricket partnered the Rose Talks Ball podcast and all the branches of the show, including Two Tiers Deep. Her Game 2 aims to spread a message of hope and equality throughout sport. Initially only in football, they have recognised that discrimination towards women and girls in sport is not limited only to football, so they have expanded into other sports, including cricket, where they can support, encourage and inspire women in the game. If you'd like to find out more about the work they are doing, you can find them online through their website, hergame2.co.uk/cricket, or you can find them on social media by searching for Her Game 2 Cricket. Thank you as always to Her Game 2 for their support of the podcast.
Okay, so our first guest on the pod this week is Bryony Smith, the Surrey captain. So welcome to the pod. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. Been a busy few days, but obviously been an exciting day yesterday and just recovering today. So it's been a brilliant couple of days.
Perfect. We're going to fire away some questions at you. Obviously, I know you from a personal perspective, and Rosa's going to come at you from the cricket journalist side perspective. But yeah, Rosa, over to you.
Starting off, a bit of a focus on yesterday and on finals day. I mean, first and foremost, the big question, how did it feel to lead your side to the inaugural Vitality Blast Tier 1 T20 title? It's a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? Has it sunk in yet?
No, not really. It was a special day. Obviously being at the Oval made it even more special. Our home ground in front of, well, it was a pretty biased crowd in the end. I think it was quite obvious they were supporting us. But yeah, it was special, and obviously for us to have been so dominant throughout the group stage to finish it off, which we haven't done over the last couple of years as the Stars. It was special, and we certainly enjoyed ourselves celebrating last night.
I mean, on the note of your dominance, I think it's fair to say you were the favourites heading into yesterday. What was the mood like in your dressing room ahead of the game?
We were confident. We obviously kept half an eye on the eliminator, just to we didn't really care who we played because we backed ourselves. But yeah, we were very, very calm. We didn't make a big thing of it. We sort of just we prepped exactly the same as we did for every game in the comp. We didn't change anything. The only thing we changed was just to have a quick chat with our psych, not about the game, but just about how we got to where we were and what our, why we were so good and why we played a game. But yeah, it was a very calm camp. We knew exactly what we needed to do. Probably made a bit more of a meal of it than we should have, but we got over that. That's all that matters, really.
Was there a moment where you thought, we've got this, we're going to get over the line here?
I think sort of when we needed about 50 odd. Obviously Grace was going well, and she had that partnership with Dunks, which was crucial. I think Dunks got 25 off not many balls, it calmed things down a little bit. Hilly will tell you I'm a terrible watcher. So I was I wasn't too bad yesterday, but I couldn't sit still, and I think when we needed 30, I was sort of set, with Grace still being out there. But yeah, I can't say I relaxed until that final ball came off Kira's bat and let out a very loud roar, I'd say, in the changing room.
I mean, you've mentioned the crowd, and it's safe to say there was a Surrey dominance on the big screens. Chloe won't know this, but there were graphics of some players kind of hyping the crowd up and saying, "Make some noise for the Bears." Absolute silence. "Make some noise for Surrey." Everyone was up and about. Do you think this helped you on your way to the title?
Yeah. I mean, it's always nice to hear a bit of silence for the opposition. But obviously, I know there'll be some people saying it's not fair that we got to play at home, but it's the Oval. Why wouldn't you want to play the what I would say the biggest game of the year? Why wouldn't you want to play it at the best ground in the country? It doesn't matter whose ground it is. But yeah, they gave us loads of support. They've been brilliant all competition, not just with the double headers, but when we played there by ourselves, we've had pretty good crowds. So I think we lost a few of them to the football, but they stuck around, and yeah, they stayed with us till the end, and they were hanging around quite a long time after as well, which is special.
And then we had a record domestic T20 crowd, almost 6,000 in. When we look at the growth compared to last year, you playing at Derby in the Charlotte Edwards Cup finals day, it appears that women's cricket is going on quite the trajectory.
Yes, I think most players will say the Oval is better than Derby. um, yeah, we've seen throughout the whole comp, like crowds have been big at most games, I'd say. And yeah, just the engagement with the fans has been a lot better. Obviously, it's a lot easier to follow. Like, not many people understood the regional structure at all. I had people calling us the Surrey Stars for 4 years, and it was just like, yeah, whatever, that'll do. You're close. But to be under sort of one easily, it's so easy to follow. Most people follow the men's county structure, and it's like, oh no, they have a women's team, which is what we want. Surrey have been amazing with it, and yeah, we've created a little fan base here at the Oval. So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing if we can grow that over the next few years, and to see what we could achieve. Why can't we sell out the Kia Oval for a single header? Like, who says we can't do that? So yeah, we'll see what happens.
I mean, the official figure from Beth Barrett Wild was over 100,000 people across the Tier 1 and Tier 2 Vitality Blast, which is massive. But I'm going to pass you on to Chloe to ask you some more.
Yeah, perfect. So obviously I'm just going to talk to you about like the journey and this season of Surrey, and I guess what's next for Surrey. Obviously being part of the Stars setup with yourself, I guess the big question for me is, how do you finally feel getting over the line after being with South East Stars and me being a part of it? We've obviously been on the wrong side of a finals day.
Yeah, I think relief was definitely there. So we obviously lost the County Cup final I can't remember when it was, in June. I don't know what day it is anymore. Yeah, definitely relief, but just pride, I'd say. We've worked so hard over the winter, not just this winter, but over the last 4 years as a squad. We've kept a very similar squad, which I think definitely helps us. There's not been too many disruptions. But yeah, just seeing how happy the girls were how happy the staff were was amazing. And we spent a long time up in the changing rooms. We got our families up there, which was very special. Obviously, the Oval have built us these fantastic changing rooms, and to have your families there, photos in front of your own lockers with your names on, which doesn't sound like a big thing, but for us, it's the first time we've had that in our careers. So yeah, it was special, but I'd say relief was probably the biggest emotion at the time.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then I guess rolling on to how would you sum up the team's journey so far, as well as the T20 Blast, but as the season? I mean, I think looking at it, you lot played 20 players in this Vitality Blast. I mean, that doesn't surprise me, knowing Mibes' way and knowing what he's about, to be honest. But yeah, were there any, I guess, key moments from any games that stood out for you, or any individuals who stood out for you or went under the radar, I guess?
I think Phoebe Franklin's been brilliant for us. She only missed one game, but that's because we rested her. It wasn't a selection thing. So yeah, I think a lot of teams underestimate her because she doesn't bowl rapid, but she bowls straight, which is dangerous. And she's put in some very important cameos with the bat as well. But I think one game that stands out, I really can't remember who it was. I think it was against Essex when we tied. But we lost 8 players to international and A series, so we had to use everyone we had left, really, with injuries as well. That sounds like a bad thing, but it wasn't. But we spoke all winter. We spoke a lot about how we're going to need all 22 players. I think we have contracted, and it's happened to us before. We had similar issues with the Stars. Like, it's great that we have people play for England, but it does cause selection headaches sometimes. But yeah, everyone's been put a real shift in, even those people who didn't get out on the park, like, have put in really crucial things, keeping us going, and the support as well. So yeah, it's been a proper 25 people squad effort, plus however millions of staff we have behind the scenes as well.
Yeah, no, yeah, 100%. I mean, every single player I think that went on the pitch for you guys, everyone stood up. And I think that's always been the way from when it was the Stars as well. I think it's just continued the same sort of environment into Surrey. And then I guess the big question for you as a skipper is, did you come into this season with a belief that you were going to win the T20 Blast? Or was it something that was growing after every game throughout the group stages?
I thought we were going to win it, if I'm honest. I think our style of play really suits T20 cricket, and the players we have. Like, yesterday, after I got out, like, I was just sat there and I was like, imagine getting a wicket of an Alice Capsey or a Danny White Hodge, and then Grace Harris walks out, then Sophia Dunkley walks out, then Paige Schofield, and we just keep coming. So yeah, I'm not saying 50 overs doesn't suit us, because we still have been pretty successful, but just, yeah, and playing at the Oval really suits our game. We can choose what boundary sizes we have, and we know we're going to get a proper wicket. So yeah, I always thought we were going to be successful in it, but it was getting over that final hurdle, as you said, which is probably always lurking around the group. But now we've done it, I'm sure we'll do it a few more times.
Yeah, I guess for me, I know the answer to this, but I guess for the listeners, it'd be great to hear from your perspective. I guess in that Surrey squad, there's a real blend of experience and youth in the side. How does the Surrey way bring that all together, and how do you get the best out of each other?
I think the togetherness we have. As I said, we've not had loads of changes since the start of the regional structure, so we all genuinely do get on, which I think is quite rare in a 20 plus player squad. But yeah, we've played a lot of cricket together. We spent far too much time together, um, especially over the last few months. But yeah, we have a real understanding of how, what everyone's role is and how everyone goes about their business. So we can help each other. If someone's are really nervous waiting to bat, someone's always there to try and distract them, or because we know that about each other. And we've had some real open and honest conversations throughout the winter of what we need from who, and I think it's shown. Like, you've seen us celebrating, and there's a genuine, like, it's not fake. We do most of the time like spending time with each other. So yeah, I think that's sort of, you'd know, Chloe, we spoke about it during the Stars, that's our super strength, and I'm not sure how many other teams have that.
Yeah, literally, that's what I was just about to say. I mean, my time at the Stars, I think it was one of the most togetherness as a team I felt. And I guess seeing how that's transitioned into the Surrey side, you can just see it from an outside perspective looking in, that you just still look one big family, and there's no egos, that it's just one big togetherness. I guess moving forward to the bigger picture, just going to touch base. What are your thoughts on Project Darwin so far, and are there any areas that you think could still be improved?
I think it's been brilliant so far. I mean, it's always hard to get everything right first year, but I wouldn't say there's been any massive red flags. A lot of people will talk about the scheduling, which it has been tough. Like playing 250 over games a week with only a couple of days in between. It's not ideal, but we want to play as much cricket as we can, and if that's the way we have to do it, then it's our job at the end of the day, and we've just got to find a way. Yeah, we've had some pretty grueling T20 fixtures. I think we were in Old Trafford on the Saturday, and then we played on the Sunday at the Oval, travelling late into the night, and up to Durham and all that. But yeah, it's part of the game. I think I saw something today about how the finals day was. Should it be 2 semis? I don't think it should be, because I think there should be a reward for coming top. And even if you play 2 semis, one team's going to be at a disadvantage because there's only a short break in between. And I think we found that last year, Chloe. It was a hot day at Derby, wasn't it? And it was. We had 45 minutes between the semi and the final. So either way, if you have 2 semis or 1 semi, that's going to be the case. So yeah, I think it's been good so far, but I'd like to see how. It'll be interesting to see when Yorkshire come in next year, how it goes. There's been some rumours flying around about how many games we'll play, but we've said our piece as players, and we'll see what happens.
I guess just on that, in addition to about Project Darwin, do you, I guess, keep an eye on any of the Tier 2 stuff, and I guess keep an eye on Yorkshire ready for them coming up next year? And I guess their finals day was done differently to Tier 1. They had 2 semi-finals and a final, which I guess it did make it out for a long day. But I guess, how do you see the difference between Tier 1 and Tier 2?
Yeah, we've kept an eye on things. Obviously, we've had a few players go and play Tier 2 cricket. So we're always keeping an eye on how they get on, and we've played a lot of cricket with people who still play in Tier 2. So yeah, we tuned in to the end of the final the other day when we got back to the hotel. And yeah, probably a result that not many people were expecting, which is brilliant, because it shows how a club like Middlesex, who they've invested properly in a Tier 2 team, and yeah, so I think it'll be interesting to see how Yorkshire come in, if they try and poach any players, or if they stick with they've got a pretty strong squad already. So we'll see what happens, and especially when is it the year after when Glamorgan join? I think that will be a crucial year because obviously I think there'll be a lot of players available, and it will be interesting to see how much movement there'll be in a couple of years' time because I think most have signed 2-year contracts with their counties. But yeah, it looks like it's been really successful. I couldn't tell you every single result, but yeah, we've definitely kept an eye on it, and those who have played have come back saying it's really good, like a good standard, which is what we want. We don't want a massive gap in between because then we'll be back to square one, really.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then last one from me, and then Rosa, I guess we'll just finish off. But obviously, we know Surrey has got a heavy England presence, and I guess like fair play to you, like that's how it should be. But do you think that the tier one structure is getting those players who haven't been in the England environment ready to walk into the England team, for example, the next day?
I think so. I mean, I can only talk of what we've done, but we have our winter's been busy. It's probably the first proper winter that a lot of the girls have done, and like the improvement I've seen has not just cricket wise, but sort of S&C work, psych work, injury prevention has been massive. And credit to Surrey for putting their money where their mouth is. Really, they said they do these things in their pitch to get a tier one team, and they've done every single one of them so far. But yeah, I think you look at our team, and there's probably 10 of us who have played international cricket. I'd say I don't know if that's right, but it sounds about right. Yeah, and I think you look at someone like Rhiannon McDonald-Gay, who has been around England and has fallen out of the picture a little bit recently, but she could easily play for England tomorrow. ADR's done it. She's got back into it. Paige has done it. I did it a little bit last year. So like we're getting there. Someone like Alexa has put her hand up and gone, right, I'm in the England A stuff. Like, what's next? So it is working for us. I don't know about everyone else, but like I don't see why the gap will get bigger. It's only going to get smaller, especially with the 100 as well.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. And I think obviously from an outsider looking in, I guess not being in that environment anymore, it certainly looks like that's the way Surrey is going, is producing that next generation of England cricketers. Rosa, do you want to take the last 2 questions?
I mean, we've spoken about international cricket, and I think one of the biggest differences this season compared to previously has been the impact of the overseas players. And obviously, you had it with Grace Harris. How has it been for you having such an experienced head in the dressing room?
She's been brilliant. I think we all know what a character she is. I've played quite a bit of cricket against her, so I've never really got to know her. I've only seen that side on the pitch of her, which we all see on the clips on YouTube, her on the mic and all that. But no, she's fitted in really well. She's brought a lot of experience, not just on the pitch, but the value she's added to our meetings, to our environment, has been crucial. And when you sign an overseas player, I think people expect them to come in and score 50s and 100s every game, and I've been an overseas player. It doesn't happen. It very rarely happens. So when you see someone come in like her, we knew, yes, we might get a quick 100 one game maybe, but we knew that she was going to bring some proper value off the pitch, and she's been hilarious. She's come out with some absolute beauties. And yeah, we've got one more game with her this week, and we're excited to see what she can do in the longer format. And yeah, we're trying to get our director to offer her a big contract to get her back. But I leave that to her.
And I mean, looking back at yesterday, we were amazed in the press box, looking at the event. I mean, compared to last year at Derby, it just felt like something we've never really seen before. Even things like the mascots, like that added bit of fun, which one of our journalists was actually in the bear suit for the Hungry Hippos. But from your perspective, what was the finals day atmosphere like from the middle?
It was it was amazing. I think obviously we came in a bit later, and I was in an Uber with our director of cricket and Mibes, our head coach, and like you can't drive into the Oval, so we got dropped off outside, and people were queuing. This was just before half an hour before the semi. There were queues out the gate, which I've not really seen for just a standalone women's game. There was people queuing for free bucket hats and everything, and just walking into the gate and like in front of the pavilion, they had stuff out, and it was just like we all walked in and went, "This is really cool. Like we've not seen this before. Like the vibes are amazing." So to then get on the pitch and get that same feeling again, I think I said to my team, let's take a minute to take this in. They're here to watch us play. This is for us. So yeah, it was really special, and I don't know what the ECB are going to do. Whether it's going to be like the men, where the Oval host every year, like Edgbaston. I think it should, because it's the best ground, and we've shown that we can get a lot of people in. So why not? And it's only going to grow. We're not going to lose people. We're only going to gain people.
I mean, I completely agree. But finally, we like to end interviews with a couple of fun questions. The first one, do you have 3 words to describe the inaugural Blast Finals Day?
Exciting. Vibey, is that a word? And successful.
And then one we're asking all of our guests, do you have any cricketing icks? Anything your teammates do that just make you go, absolutely not, stop it?
Yes. I got 2. First one is keeping in short sleeve. No go. Laurie Evans did it for the men this year, and we were like, this is unacceptable. And the second one, which has happened a lot this season, bowling in a cap. And I had to have a word with Grace, but she stood our ground, and I was like, you know what? If you keep check driving sixes, you can do what you want. But yeah, you don't see many people doing it, and I think she confused a few umpires as well when she wouldn't hand over her hat. But yeah.
I mean, we had Amy Campbell on last episode as our preview for Tier 2 Finals Day, and she brought up bowling in a cap, and she said that Ria Fackrell bowls in a cap and sunglasses, and it winds her up.
Yeah. Well, Grace bowls in her casuals. She doesn't wear like sports Oakleys. She wears they look like casuals, so I think that's even worse.
Agreed. I mean, thank you so much for coming on. It's been great talking to you. Chloe, do you have anything else to add, or?
No, I guess just again a massive congrats to Surrey for being the first women's team in this new era of winning the Vitality Blast, and not being biased, but I hope it continues.
Thank you, so do I.
So our next guest on the pod is Finty. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. So for those who don't know Finty, Finty is currently representing Middlesex in Tier 2. I've obviously played with Finty back in the days at Southern Vipers, and we'll touch base on that. But obviously we're going to be discussing the exciting finals day of Tier 2. So over to you, Rosa.
I mean, first of all, a massive congratulations. How did it feel to become the inaugural Tier 2 Vitality Blast champions? It's still a tongue twister, and I said it about 4 times today.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, it's all right. It was pretty surreal, to be honest. I think it hasn't quite. I think it's just started sinking like a couple of days afterwards. But yeah, it was pretty surreal. I think after the game, like a lot of us just kept being like, what just happened? Like, what just happened? But no, yeah, it was fantastic. Like, such a great day, and yeah, highlight of my career so far for sure.
I mean, I spoke to Izzy after the game, and she was so just shocked about all of it. She didn't really know what to say, which is always great when you're interviewing someone. Um, but what does it mean to the group, and I guess more widely, Middlesex as a county?
Yeah, it means a lot. It means a lot. I mean, a lot for us to get to finals day in the first place. Like you say, just for us as a group, but also as a county. I think I'm right in saying I think it's the first trophy we've won as a women's team throughout the whole county history. I think. Yeah, thumbs up, cool. But yeah, so that was pretty massive for us, and I think as a group we've come together. Obviously in the start of this new structure, and back in November, December, and yeah, there's quite a few. Obviously, I'm new this year, but there's quite a few of them who've been through the pathways. So yeah, obviously I'm really happy, but I think it means a lot, probably a lot more to them, in a different way, than it does to me. But yeah, no, couldn't be happier, and I think everyone was super buzzing, and yeah, I think shock is a good way to describe it. It was a little bit like what just happened, but yeah, no, couldn't yeah, over the moon.
I mean, you had a day for the history books. I mean, you made it through both the semi and a final without losing any wickets. And for you personally, just the casual two half centuries. Take us into your mindset when you were out batting in the middle.
Gosh, again, like pretty surreal. Yeah, I think for me personally, going into the day, I think I knew that if I just was positive and went ball by ball and didn't get carried away with it, emotionally wise, I'll be fine. Um, I think if you told me before you'd have two half centuries, I'd be like, nah, that's the wrong Finty. That's not me. That wouldn't be me. But yeah, it was pretty surreal. And to back with Izzy the whole time was just great. I get on quite well with her. Um, and we work together really well. I think we kind of balance each other out really nicely. And again, we just kept saying ball by ball. Don't worry about the total. Don't worry about the score. Just keep going ball by ball. And if we get out, we get out. But keep being positive. But yeah, it was pretty mental. I remember looking at the scoreboard like I feel like I'm 40 all of a sudden. But no, it was really good fun. I absolutely loved it. I had such good fun out there. And yeah, credit to Izzy. She got me through it.
I mean, it's safe to say that Yorkshire were the favourites coming into the day, owing to their professional status, even though you were very dominant in your group, in the South group. How was the team's mindset coming into finals day, and what were your expectations?
Um, yeah, obviously it was we kind of thought Yorkshire would be strong favourites from the start, really. And I think for us as a group, we were just really happy to get to finals day, and whatever happened was a bonus. We looked to embrace the day. We looked to kind of yeah, embrace all the emotions that came with the day, and just go and enjoy it, enjoy the occasion, rather than kind of um, yeah, disregard it, embrace it, and yeah, whatever happened happened, and whatever we walked away with, trophy or not, we were happy with our campaign, and yeah, obviously winning was a big bonus.
I mean, tactics wise, obviously you were facing two teams you haven't faced in the South group. Did anything change going into that day, or was it just about going about your usual business?
Yeah, nothing changed. Same processes, same. I mean, yeah, like you say, we didn't face either of them before, and we knew Leicestershire would have been a strong side. I mean, I watched the Leicestershire Yorkshire game, that Leicestershire kept Yorkshire down to, I think it was 130 something. So for a batter myself, I knew Leicestershire had a good bowling attack. So it's more focusing on kind of, okay, what do the bowlers do? How can I play them? What are my plans? And then same with kind of Yorkshire. Obviously, we faced Glamorgan a few times, so we knew them a bit better. But with Yorkshire, just a quick run through of their bowlers and stuff. And again, we know that when we're at our best with bat and ball in the field, we're pretty hard to beat for any team. So yeah, again, keeping our plans really simple and doing the same thing, no changes for finals day. And I think in the final, it all came together really nicely, and we were pretty, I reckon, top of our game in all three skills. And yeah, like I said, we can beat anyone when we're like that. So yeah.
And then was there a moment where it clicked that you're going to go all the way here and you're going to course the upset of all upsets?
Yeah, definitely. It was quite late on, to be honest. I think obviously when we were fielding, it was quite fun. I was going from cow to square at one point for like a few overs at the back end of the innings, and Reva was we would cross like every over, and when they were like 45 for five or something, and me and Reva ran past each other like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And then we ran past again. We're like, no, gotta stay calm, stay calm. But then I guess batting wise, when we were, I reckon, on 90 odds, I looked up at Izzy. I was like, oh my god, we're gonna do this. This is crazy. Like we're actually gonna do this. But all up until then, it was just 10 runs by 10 runs. Not worrying about that at all. But yeah, it started sinking around kind of 1995 that like this is pretty incredible.
And then Chloe, do you want to take the next few questions?
Yeah, perfect. So, obviously, I know you as a cricketer from our days at Southern Vipers. So, like, I'm really just looking at your journey here and like what this season has to offer and what's next, I guess, for you. But obviously, you made the transition from Vipers to Middlesex. Firstly, how has it been? And secondly, how have you found Tier 2?
It's been great. Honestly, couldn't be happier anywhere else. I think the move, yeah, last season probably didn't go the way I wanted it to be honest. I was facing quite a tough decision pretty early on, to be honest. When this tier stuff came out, I knew I was kind of in between just taking a break completely or do I go tier two? And I think it gave me a good chance to kind of remodel my game as a bit of a batter. I think last season my bowling struggled a bit, and um, I was batting for Hampshire in the old county systems, and yeah, a couple of people said to me like, "Don't give up, like keep going your batting, like you got something there." I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll keep going then." And then batting started to kind of click a little bit towards the back end, and I was like, oh, "Okay, I could go tier two and maybe be a batter." And then I tried a couple of places, um, and I heard Middlesex needed some batters. So I was like, well, I'll go there, tries my arm, and yeah, something just clicked this season. I think the right technical input, the right time, has just fallen into place, and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm having the best time of my life right now. It's yeah, I think it shows as well when you enjoy when you enjoy the team you're playing with, when you enjoy the environment, it comes through in the runs. I think, and that could be more true. And tier two is great. I think, yeah, I think it's really good. I think the standard is as a whole pretty good, especially with the lone players coming back in. Um, you get some seriously good tier one players coming back in sometimes, and it's a good challenge. Um, and I think the opportunities we have, um, uh, yeah, really good to play at some really nice grounds. That's probably the biggest difference I've found. Probably the nicest one for me as a batter as well. You play at some nice tracks. It's always nice the difference from last year playing on like some school ground that was a minefield on the outfield and would the ball would be doing all sorts on the pitch and it was almost impossible to bat on. But now we've got some nice tracks and good outfields and we've got some good scores and it's a really good opportunity to showcase our skills as cricketers in tier two. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving it.
I guess you sort of ticked off my next question. It was me sort of going to ask you how your batting has evolved more than me knowing you as Finty, the leg spinner, who then also went to a bit of seam bowling, who now has become this jet opening batter. But I guess, yeah, you ticked that off for me. I guess a question I'll add into that is, do you have any ambitions or goals to play tier one again or be at the top level again later down the line, or are you happy with where you're at and see where cricket takes you?
It's a good question, and it's been something that I've kind of thought about a little bit, but it's not been in the forefront of my mind at the moment. To be honest, I think right now I'm just enjoying tier two and seeing how much I can do and seeing how far I can push it, and Yeah, I think for the near future, not it's not setting my goals to be tier one. I think I've got this really good opportunity at a job that I'm really looking forward to. And I want to, give everything to that whilst playing tier two, and that's where tier two is so great. You can support other careers whilst doing cricket, and I think us as a team um, are really kind of showcasing that. We've got players who, like work for PwC and who are trainee lawyers and students and all sorts. And I think playing tier two is really helpful in that regards if you want to throw yourself into another area of your life. So I think for the next year, at least a couple of years, maybe just keep playing tier two, see how far I can go, and then yeah, if opportunities come, then I'll be open to it. But yeah, nothing in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, perfect. And I guess you had a really competitive group in the South group. When or what do you think made Middlesex stand out in that South group to get to finals day? Like, what is it about your group?
That's again a very good question. It's quite hard to answer. I think we actually had a pretty, yeah, we had a pretty steady group stage. I think it was pretty up and down. Like we had that Glamorgan game where we bowled out for 77 and really struggled to chase it. And then we had that Gloucester game where we scored like 200 odd. So it's been really mixed, but I think we've done a lot of rotation to find the best combination, and I think it's that um the team was pretty different each week for a while, and whatever the team was, we still found a way to kind of come together and kind of be really united in the field, and um, it's that kind of group chemistry, I guess, that we have and that team bond that helps us to do that week in week out, no matter what the team is. And we have these values that we stand by and we train by and we play by, and that always remains the same messaging, the same processes, and yeah, just having that kind of consistency with the messaging. No matter what the team is, we'll go together, we'll play together, um, and that just helps us put up performance on the pitch. And yeah, I think the last few games since the Gloucestershire game, the batting has just been something that's just kind of clicked. I think it might be fair to say the first few games we struggled to find rhythm with the batting, especially the power play, but since that Gloucestershire game, the batting's just clicked, and it means that kind of the bowlers can go out with a bit more kind of, I guess, confidence, perhaps, that we can chase any big total down. So, but yeah, it was a very strong group, and yeah, credit to all the teams that they put up a good fight for sure.
Yeah, and obviously being part of the North group with Worcestershire, looking, I guess, from an outside perspective, for me that South group did look stronger. Yorkshire obviously were like clear runners in the North group, and I think the rest of the teams in the North group, it was so close, really. But I guess, um, of course, finals day, but what for you has been a personal highlight this season? And you can say finals day if you wish, because I mean that is a fantastic achievement. But if there's anything that you think can pinpoint anything else, or you want to add in a couple, go for it.
Um, yeah, it's quite hard to beat finals day, to be honest. That was pretty incredible. But there's been a couple of games. I think the game at Sussex at home when Nancy Hartman had a really good innings, and that was a game where the momentum just changed all the time. Like we had a good power play, they brought it back, we finished well, and then we had a good power play, they brought it back, and it was a constant. And the crowd there was really good as well, really under lights, great atmosphere. It was a double header as well, which was fantastic. And I remember just looking at the scoreboard every ball, and my heart rate was like through the roof the whole time. But that was a great game, and yeah, it wasn't any like personal milestones in there, but just playing in that game and kind of playing in front of that crowd, it was something where like I would never imagined I'd be doing ever. Um, and yeah, after the game, we were kind of like that was pretty cool to win that. I think it's those games where it's a bit closer. Like I could have said the Gloucestershire game where me and Izzy had that big partnership, but um, yeah, it's games like that where it's go down to the wire and those teams really come together. And I think there was a run out. Reva's run out was just like that for me, probably a highlight, up there with highlights. That was incredible to watch. I was right, I was uh, mid wicket. She was a deep square leg, and oh my gosh, it was incredible to watch. But yeah, that was a really good game down at Hove.
And then who in the team has really stepped up this season, and are there any names who has flown under the radar, so might not have been like a standout performer on that game, but has always been there contributing thereabouts?
Do you know what? I could say so many. I could honestly say so many because, like I said, we do a lot of rotation, and everyone stepped up at some point. Um, I think Sass has been incredible with both bat and ball. She's got us out of a lot of situations, especially with the bat early on. I remember there was a time where she would just produce 50 after 50 after 50 in the middle order, and she got us out of a lot of trouble. And with the ball, she's always just on it. Um, I think Izzy as well. It's pretty hard to look past Izzy. She's had a really good um, the last couple of games. She had a really good kind of run of batting after a tough start, and I don't think she'll mind me saying that either. Um, and now she looks a complete different batter now. Absolutely crunching the ball. It's crazy. And then with the ball as well, she doesn't put herself up to her credit, but she's a good bowler. Like she goes for like twos, threes, and she can't get hit. And then yeah, I think Reba in the field has been fantastic as well. I said that run out, but also she had that run out at Gloucestershire at Cheltenham to win the game, and yeah, that was mega. So yeah.
No, I think obviously that's a great position to name. If you can name more than one player, I think it just
Yeah.
proves how good Middlesex is at the moment. I get Rosa. Do you want to start talking about the bigger picture, and I'll do the last two?
I mean, from me, what was taking part in finals day like? How did the occasion feel for you guys on the field?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, obviously we had the first game and in the end the last game. And yeah, there were quite different games. The one under lights at the end was pretty cool, and the atmosphere got better and better throughout the day, and yeah, it was really cool. But like I said, like it wasn't. We stuck to the same processes like warm ups and bowl throughs and fielding. We just did the same thing, and yeah, we embraced the occasion for sure. And it was yeah, it was just so fun. And then in between the games, like people did their own thing. There wasn't much panic around or much kind of getting overhyped for it. We just kind of some people slept, some did threw darts, some just watched the cricket. Um, and yeah, before the final, it was like just enjoy it and just relax and just play your best game and show yourself out there. And yeah, it was such an incredible experience to be part of. And the bench was fantastic as well. We had pretty much the whole squad there, and the support from the bench was huge. And it just shows how much of a squad we are when you have the bench coming out and just cheering every dot ball and cheering every run. It was fantastic.
And then a bit of a broader one. Do you think Tier 2 cricket is valued enough? And what would you love to see happen next with it?
That's a loaded question. Gosh, I think it is valuable in the way that it gives. Well, it gives players who are in tier one who aren't necessarily getting opportunities to play and put in those performances that get them into those positions into tier one. I think is it Phoebe Brett? I think she's coming to Warwickshire or something. Yeah, from tier two. And there's other players I can name as well have done really well in tier two and just pushing into tier one. Um, and then I think as well it just gives players who've been in the county pathways, um, such as Middlesex for a while, giving them that exposure. We've got a couple who've come from the EPP, who are now playing on, at Lords, for example, or double headers. And it gives them that kind of platform and that kind of visibility that they wouldn't have before. Um, so I think it is valuable in that way, for sure. I think going forward, it's hard to predict where it's going to go. I think this season was always for me, like I always thought it was going to be an interesting one just because, teams sorting themselves out, teams are just getting to their stride. Um, it'll be interesting to see Yorkshire and Glamorgan go up and how they approach that. If they get players in, if they take the same squad, how they'll compare. And I think that the I'm most excited for the County Cup next year. I hope that keeps going. The T20 County Cup is we were knocked out first round. I'm still very bitter about that, but I'm hoping that we get a bit further next year. And I think that's great when you had tier threes playing against tier one. I think was it Warwickshire and Devon played against each other, and yeah, and they had them not in a great stage at one point actually, which is quite interesting. But I think it's great on the whole, and yeah, it's given an opportunity like players like myself who kind of step back from the professional game, and I've kind of found my love for the game again through tier two. So to me personally, I found it very, very valuable.
Amazing. Chloe, do you want to take the last few?
Yeah, and I just think on that last point, I can echo exactly what Finty says. Obviously, like stepping out of the professional game and seeing the opportunities in tier two and tier three, and how the structure's going. Yeah, I think it's obviously great for the women's game. Just what are your overall thoughts on Project Darwin as a whole, from tier one to tier three? As obviously a player who's been at the top level, you've also played national counties, and now you're representing in tier two. What is your overall thoughts of Project Darwin?
I think from a player's point of view, like I said, I think it's been really valuable for players like myself who've come out of that game, professional game, and now kind of refining their love for it, and almost playing on the same kind of, well, not same, but similar visibility with, the media and the coverage. We get a decent amount of coverage with streams and everything. I know there's some conflicting opinions out there, and I think we could go really in depth with all of those. But I think for me as a whole, it's been, on a personal level, it's been like I probably wouldn't be playing um, competitive cricket without tier two. So for me, it's been that kind of that path back into cricket and back into loving cricket again, and it's given me an opportunity to kind of find a different role in a team and pursue something that I probably wouldn't have pursued in a professional environment. Um, uh, and yeah, like I say, you have those tier one players who, like these tier one squads are massive. They're huge, and you are going to get people who miss out when you got like strong squads. Like Surrey's squad is so strong, so strong. So you are naturally have players who miss out, and I think having tier two gives that kind of those players an opportunity. I think there's definitely less second 11 cricket, I've noticed, and I'm not sure if that is due to funding or just team decision. I'm not sure, but potentially if we had more second 11 cricket, that might change things a little bit. You might get more tier one players who are missing out, potentially getting more cricket in and getting more opportunities. So it's kind of a balance, I think. I think what I'd like to see a bit more, what I've heard a little bit around from the finals day, is that it didn't get like it wasn't a massive event. I'd say the tier two finals day, like it was great, it was fantastic for us as a team, but from what I've heard, it could have been potentially better advertised, maybe, and a bit more of an event on like the tier one finals day. It wouldn't have got as big of a crowd, no way, but um, yeah, I've heard some different opinions on that.
Yeah, I guess obviously from a player and I guess from the journalist side, looking at it from the outside, I guess that was probably the only disappointing side from tier two was the atmosphere and the surroundings of finals day. Whereas being a part of it as a player, you're so engrossed in the game that you don't actually
Mm.
realise what's going on around you. But yeah, I think certainly looking from a player perspective as well, that would be my feedback of the finals day. Probably just needs to be done or run a little bit better.
Yeah.
Last one, yeah, and then last question from me is obviously tier two is, and you've spoken about Middlesex obviously playing a bunch of different players, so you've had a vast amount of players coming in and out of your squad. Do you see tier two as like that performance level, or is it a developmental sort of like a development level where do you find that balance between performance and development, I guess, in tier two, or how do you perceive it?
It's interesting. I think it depends on the team. I think some teams are go performance, you know, flat rate performance. Other teams a bit more rotational. Like we're quite a rotational side, and that's great because we have players stepping up all the time and putting their hands up for selection in the best 11. Um, I think I think it's a bit of both. I think it's a balance. And like I said, some teams go best 11, um, but I think going a bit balance of both is super valuable. I think you give players a chance to step up and play under pressure and play in the environment. and give them that experience in playing at a competitive level. And I think the way I can speak of Middlesex, we train with professional behaviours, even though we're not professional strictly. We train with those kind of standards and behaviours, and that just gives everyone that kind of experience and kind of building those habits in of being a professional. Um, and that just kind of brings everyone up with them. And yeah, like I say, it's a good balance, I think, too, of giving those players an opportunity to show themselves and play their best cricket and get their name out there, whilst also kind of operating at the highest level we can.
And finally, from me, Rosa, you can edit this out if you think it's controversial, but I'm going to be really controversial here. Middlesex, obviously, winner of the Vitality Blast in Tier 2. Do you think it's fair that you guys don't get promotion into Tier 1?
I like the controversialness of that. Do you know what? The ECB made a decision to go with Yorkshire and Glamorgan, and they had the best bids at the time. And to be honest, we don't really think about that as a Middlesex. We're not really focused on going, how the fact that we're not going Tier 1 next year if we win. We're just looking to make a statement and take as much kind of experience and positive match play we can, and whatever happens. We're not ruling out ECB going years early with us potentially, if we carry on like this. But I think fair. I wouldn't call it fair, but I wouldn't call it unfair. I'm going to stay pretty neutral in it. And like I said, ECB made a decision. It's out of our control, and we're going to play our best cricket and not worry about that.
Perfect. So I guess maybe just one for the future. Hopefully there's a promotion and relegation between Tier 1 and Tier 2, and hopefully that's something to come going forward. Just to finish with a little bit of fun, Rosa's going to fire 2 fun questions at you.
Cool.
Just quickly before we get started, I was scared about what you were going to say then, but I asked the same question to Izzy, so
Oh, fine, okay, fine.
We're equally as controversial on the pod. And also, the thing I'd say is, from my perspective as a journalist this season, and last year covered quite a few of Worcestershire and Warwickshire's games back when county cricket didn't really exist in the eyes of the ECB, and it's been really good to see it being platformed properly, to see you actually playing consistent games at main stadia, getting attention on club social media. It's been really good, and I hope long may it continue. But looking at some fun questions, because we couldn't let you go without, a little bit of laugh. First of all, 3 words to describe the inaugural Blast finals day.
Shocking, surreal, and fun. Yeah, great fun.
A good trio. And then a question we are asking all of our guests. Do you have any cricketing icks? Anything your teammates do just make you go, stop it right now? Absolutely not.
I could have a whole list of them. Top of my head. Yeah, appealing from point or square. No, I'm for LBWs. To be fair, I'm guilty of it, but I stop myself when I do it, because it's and as a batter, it is come on now, you can't really see, can you? No. But it is. Yeah, that's probably, as a batter, probably one of my cricketing icks for sure.
That's not what I've heard before. Usually it's keepers in short sleeves. Amy Campbell said that she hates as a fielder. Chloe, obviously you weren't in this interview, but I don't know if you heard this. She hates as a fielder when keepers get in the way of direct hits.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a good one. Yeah, but it must be quite hard for keepers. I kept it a game once, and I wasn't it was a last minute replacement, and I found it really hard to not to kind of judge the throws. So yeah, I kind of I'm on the keeper side for that one, actually.
Do you know what? I'm actually not blowing smoke up my own ass, but I think I'm quite good at reading that.
Go on, Hilly. Blow your own trumpet, mate.
Amazing.
Perfect. And then I guess just from me, a massive congratulations again at winning with Middlesex, and thank you so much for chatting to us on 2 Tiers Deep.
Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this week's 2 Tiers Deep. If you'd like to find me, Chloe Hill, you can find myself on Instagram with a new Instagram page covering this podcast at 2 Tiers Deep CH. Or I'll pass you over Rosa to find herself at
Rosa Talks Ball. Or if you have any questions, you can contact us on rosatalksball@gmail.com. And please don't hesitate to get in touch.